everyone. Welcome to my channel, Budget for Success. Woo! Welcome. My name is Onyx, and you know what time it is. It's Smart Money Tuesday. Woo, woo, Smart Money Tuesday. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Every Tuesday, I come to you and I give you a nugget. It's usually some nugget that I've learned along the way in my 20 plus year career in budgeting and financing, as well as just living life. See, many years ago, over 20 years ago, I was actually homeless. I made some decisions that weren't in my best interest, and I found myself in a situation where I literally had no place to call like home, right? And so I had to maneuver around that time in my life because I was a mother. I was a single mother. I had a little girl with me, and it was like, wow, how did you get here? And so through the grace of God and family and friends and people that helped me along the way, as well as just a deep desire to pursue and have a better life, 20 plus years later, I now have this amazing story. I have this amazing life. My husband and I are married. We've been married for over 10 years. We have $1 million home. We have really vibrant, loving, caring children who make changes in this world. And we just are just blessed. And so I decided I need to share what I have learned. How did I go from homeless to where I am now? Whoa, it wasn't always easy, but how can I share it to make somebody's life just a little bit lighter, a little bit more pleasant, a little bit more passionate about where they're headed? So, henceforth, I also wrote a book because I said, let me put those steps down that I took into a book so people could have it. Like when I'm gone, those steps will still be here written in this book. So you see it on the screen. It's the unofficial guide to achieving your goals. And there's 7 steps in the goal. And I'm going to cover all 7 steps on a very high level today. And then next month, starting next month, I'm going to break down each step for you. So if you want to join the journey with me, go to Amazon and get this book, or go to my website, click on the link and get this book. My website is www.onyxjonesbooks.com. You can click on the link, it'll take you to Amazon and you can make the purchase. All right, let me tell you a little bit about my backstory. I have a video that I put together. So I'm going to let you watch the video and then I'll be back.
Back in the early 70s, I grew up in West Philadelphia. It was a low income area of the city, and it was the inner city. I remember there weren't a lot of trees, just all concrete. Like there was no grass. We had to travel quite a ways to get to the nearest park. All of the buildings were smashed together. So walls were connected to neighbors, and they were tall buildings. So it even blocked like the sun from just shining on your face. I mean, there was just so many tall buildings. But that was home. That was the area that I called home. And I didn't realize when I was young that there was so much more to see in this world until one day my dad just picked up and drove to California, just drove on a whim. And eventually he moved to California, and my mother and my father were divorced. So I had to stay in Philadelphia. But the arrangements were made that I could go to California to visit my dad. And that's when I realized that there was a whole other world out there that I had just never experienced and never seen. And I knew from that first summer in California that I had to figure out in life how to move from where I grew up to a better place. And I needed to figure it out how to do it on my own. And that was my quest. And I made progress. You know, I found my way through college. I went to college in Kansas. I graduated with a bachelor's and then a master's degree in accounting. But then I made some bad choices, and I found myself in 1999 in a situation where I was homeless. I had been staying with a gentleman who was abusive and was cheating, and I had to go. And I didn't have time to make up a plan. I didn't have time to put money aside because I was barely making ends meet, and I would have had to stay in a very toxic situation. So what I did was I picked up and I just left. My daughter and I were in my car. I put all the clothing and things that we needed to have, the essentials, in my car. I had a lot of stuff already in storage. So whatever was left in that relationship, I left it. I left it. I just got in the car with my daughter and we took off. I called my aunt and she said that she could loan me some money because all I had at that time was a roll of quarters because I was going to do laundry. And so she said she'd loan me $20, but I had to get all the way to her house, which was an hour away. So I remember dividing the quarters up to put money in my gas tank so I would still have quarters for the laundry. And so I put money in the gas tank and I got to my aunt's house. And I figured once I got there, she would allow me to stay because, she had a house. So I was like, somewhere she'll let me, stay because we didn't have anywhere to go. So she did. She made some blankets up and we were able to sleep on her floor. And she, offered what she could to us at that time. And so we slept on her floor, but I realized that I needed to make money. And the only way that, I could make money was to kind of drive back and forth. So just stepping out on faith, I walked out of that relationship knowing I was going to be homeless. And I just said, I've got to figure out what it's going to take to get my life back on track. And I just say to you right now, it doesn't matter if you are homeless, if you're in a bad relationship, if you just realize you're not living your full potential. I need you to just make it a practice to walk in these 7 principles that I'm going to share with you. Because these principles that I used, you've heard them before, you've seen people or heard people talk about these principles. This isn't the magic sauce. But what I'm going to share with you is how I got from A to B, point A to B, my personal walk, my personal path. And sometimes when you hear somebody else's story, you just go, my God, I can do this. She did it. I can do it. So I'm going to give you these 7 principles and you're going to notice these shifts in your life if you do this journey with me. My journey from growing up poor, to now having what I view as wealth in all these different areas of my life, my family, my faith, my fitness, and my finances. These are all areas that I feel that I am flourishing and prospering in. But it didn't happen overnight. It took 20 years. But let me tell you, the journey was worth it. So it took me 20 years, but if I can share my story with you, you can cut that in half. You can cut that number into a quarter of the time that it took me. It's really all up to you and the choices and the decisions you're willing to make this point forward. So if you really want to see a change in your life, the one thing that's going to work as we move forward in these 7 steps is consistency. You must show up. Consistency is the key. And you must show up for yourself, not for me, not for anyone else, but for you. So if you're ready to go, let's get started.
All right, all right. Let's get started on the 7 steps. I'm going to give you a highlight, as I said to you before, and then in October, we're going to deep dive into every single step. So the first step in this journey of my transformation was to identify a goals partner. I needed to find somebody who was supportive of my dreams, someone who respected me, right? Who didn't view me as, it's Onyx, she's homeless, she have nowhere to go, she made some bad decisions. I had to connect with people that saw me for where I was headed. Some people that had great communication skills, who had the time for me. And some of those goals partners that I acquired along the way were literally family members at different points in my process. And then there was my boss. I had a boss during one point in my life who ended up becoming a friend, a lifelong friend to me. And so that was one of my goals partners. But finding people who will be honest with you, who have similar values to you, and most important, know how to have fun. Because when you're on this journey, it's all about having fun, okay? Now, step 2, this to me is really the most important step. And that's being able to connect with your higher power. And so for me, it was through meditation and prayer. And one of the most important things that I believe during this time where you take, whether you're meditating in the morning or the evening, I do both, is to listen. Listen. Listen to that inner voice. Listen to God. Listen to your higher power. Listen to whatever energy you are trying to hear that's going to lead and guide you and show you your purpose and allow that to be revealed to you. Also, through this time, you should be able to write down some short term and long term goals because you're listening, you're hearing, you're really getting direction. Okay. And then let's move to step 3, which is visualize. You've got to see yourself in the future because you're royalty and you want your vision to be very detailed. So there is an author that I've read a book called The Master Key System, powerful book by Charles Hannell, and it was written in the 1800s, so it's a very old book. But he talked about in this thing how powerful visualization is, where an inventor could actually see machinery being built in their mind, watching the gears work, looking where there's a failure because that's not going to connect here, that has to connect here, and literally creating this piece of equipment that operates flawlessly first in their mind, so that once it's put into blueprints and then built, it works perfectly. See, that is the power of visualization. Like you could see that level of detail if you allow yourself that time and space to meditate and to just visualize and have a vision. And remember to stay positive when you do your visualizations. And if things pop up that are negative, I need you to laugh out loud. Cancel, cancel. Get rid of that negative thought. Toss it. And if it really is something that you're battling with, like you're holding on to some negative energy, or there's people you need to forgive, or there's a situation that just keeps coming up for you, well, I need you to write it out, right? Write a letter. Don't mail the letter. I just need you to write it out. Get all that emotion out. Put it down on paper. Use the curse words if you need to, but get that information out there. Just take it out of your system because it's not hurting anybody else but you. So I need you to write it down, grab that paper when you're done, fold it up, toss it, bundle it up, throw it away, and let it go and breathe. Do some deep breathing. Do mantras if you need to, positive affirmations, whatever it takes for you to be able to be positive during your visualizations. That is very crucial. Now we move to step 4. Find people who are doing what you want to do. And I want to give you a quote from Wallace D. Wattles. He is the author of The Science of Getting Rich. He says to fix your attention on the best is to surround yourself with the best and to become the best. So if you want to be the best, make sure that you find mentors and people out there that are doing it and flowing and operating in the way that you want to operate. And then really hone your skills by going to training, go to workshops. You can read, or if you don't like to read books, which I do, books, man, when you read them, those words come off the paper and they just get absorbed into your subconscious and your conscious. But if you don't like to read, do the audible books, do the audio books, but just read, take that knowledge in, take some classes, really hone your skills so that you can flow in your purpose, in that thing that you were designed to do. And now, step number 5, to really make your dreams a reality, you got to put in the work. And so my recommendation, and it's written in my book, is that you spend at least 30 minutes a day working towards your goal. Now, your goal should be something you're passionate about, right? So 30 minutes a day should be easy because this is something you love to do. This is something that drives you. It's connected to your life purpose. And so when you're operating and you're doing these things, because say you have a full-time job and you're like, when do I have time to do that? 30 minutes a day, I want you to look at who do you need to connect with during these 30 minutes. Who is there somebody you need to connect with to help you manifest your goal and your vision? What action steps are needed? Write them down. When should those action steps be done? Since you're only spending 30 minutes to an hour a day, well, you might have to take it into little small nuggets, little small chunks in order to get where you need to be. And then there's sometimes places that you need to go, places you need to visit. There's resources that you need to acquire in order to achieve your goals. And then you must take time to decide, why are these goals important to you? What makes them drive you? Because you won't stay on the path and you won't persevere if you're not really connected to your why. And then also, let's talk about, how will you measure progress? How will you go, hey girl, you got it? How will you celebrate? Woo, I did it. I did it. So you want to have those measurements in place, those benchmarks, so you know you're on the right path. Step 6, which is a very important step, and I go into a deep dive on this step in many of my other Smart Money Tuesday videos, so be sure to check them out. But step 6 is create a budget and a financial plan. You've got to have a formal budget. You look at large organizations that are flourishing, they have budgets, they operate off of a budget. Also, it's important to know your net worth. What is your value? Right? And so I have other videos that talk about net worth and how to give your money an assignment. You have money saved, but does it have an assignment? You tend to spend money when you don't give it an assignment. So all the money that you have in savings and investments and that are at your disposal, they all should know where that money is supposed to be saved for and what expense is supposed to go to. That's called giving your money an assignment. Be intentional with your spending. So focus on only spending money that you intend to spend, money that you've saved and you have saved for a specific purpose. And if you have some of those low priority expenditures, maybe you can get rid of some of those low priority things because they're not needed. Get them out of your budget and free up some money so you can increase your savings. And then set up an automatic savings plan so the money just moves every week, every month, every year, just automatically moves into your savings and investments. So that's definitely something that you must put into place. And then the final thing is a part of step 6, which is creating this financial plan, is setting up some MRSs. What are MRSs? Multiple revenue sources. Yes. If you do what you love, find a way to monetize it and enjoy it and have fun. And I don't care how small that money is, every amount helps. Every amount is getting you towards your goal. And those small amounts quickly add up to large amounts. So find things that you love to do, that you're passionate about, and monetize it. All right. But let's create multiple revenue sources. Yes, you have a good paying job, but there's no reason you shouldn't have any other money coming in. And if you really identify really wealthy people, they have more than one revenue source. Absolutely. Step number 7, the final step, is to create a what I really want to do while I'm still living list. Ooh, 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 ooh. Yes, toss out that bucket list. We want a list that says, this is what I really want to do while I'm still living my best life. And that time to take action is now. So I want you to create this list of things that you want to do while you're still living, and then put all those other steps that we've talked about into place and take action. I want to take a moment to end with this quote. This is a quote from Woodrow Wilson. We grow great by dreams. All big men and women are dreamers. They see things in the soft haze of a spring day or in the red fire of a long winter's evening. Some of us let these great dreams die, but others nourish and protect them, nurse them through bad days till they bring them to the sunshine and light, which comes always to those who sincerely hope that their dreams will come true. I want to say that again. It says, the light, which comes always, emphasis always, to those who sincerely hope that their dreams will come true. So What does that mean? That means that if you have a sincere hope and a desire, you will manifest those things, but you must persevere. Hang on to them. Don't let go. All right, guys, that's all I have for today. I'm so excited to go on this journey with you to share these steps. I don't care what circumstances you are in. If you're really reaching for the next level, come do this journey with me. We're going to deep dive into all 7 of these steps in the coming months, and we're going to have fun. We're going to enjoy it and talk about it. All right, we're going to make it happen. So, starting in October, be sure to tune in to every Smart Money Tuesday so you don't miss any steps. Thank you so much for being a part of this journey with me. And if you like this video and you want more videos, please like, comment, and subscribe to Budget for Success. Bye for now. Love you guys.